Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Behavioral Health Certificate Program. We are still in Module 4, and we'll be talking about ethics in this mini module. Should be short, hoping for about 10 minutes, give or take. Now, when we talk about ethics, the main concepts we want you to understand for this mini module are the American Association of Medical Assistants Code of Ethics, your key principles, and core values. Not too many things to try to bite off in one sitting here. Now, before we talk about those three main concepts, we want to discuss ethical dilemma and what an ethical dilemma is. There are three conditions that have to be met. The first condition occurs when there's a situation in which an individual must make a decision about which course of action is best. When we talk about situations that are uncomfortable, but you are not required to make a choice of any kind, that is not an ethical dilemma. The second condition is that there must be different courses of action to choose from. And the third condition that no matter what course of action is taken, some ethical principle is compromised. So in other words, there is no perfect solution. This makes me think of a cartoon. The cartoon shows a person standing on a dock, watching while another person struggles in the water, looks to be in distress, and they're surrounded by sharks. Now, this is beyond uncomfortable, and clearly there is some sort of decision that needs to be made here. The second condition would suggest there are more than one course of action that a person could take. So if you're the person on the dock, you could stay there because you're worried about the sharks. You could call for help, or you could jump in, and any number of other things that you might have some good ideas around. We met that condition because there are different courses of action that could be taken. And then the third element, there is no perfect solution. And for obvious reasons, there are sharks everywhere in the water. If you don't jump in, that person's in trouble. If you do jump in, you're both in trouble. And we don't have the element of time necessarily to do some of the other choices, which might be to grab a life raft, get a boat, call for help, that sort of thing. Let's talk about your medical assistant code of ethics. There is a website you can go to, the American Association of Medical Assistants, that outlines your code of ethics, your principles, your values, also talks about all of the activity that is being highlighted on that, for that particular period in time that you happen to be on the website, and things that you can get involved in, be a part of your professional community. So let's talk about the code of ethics. Basically, if you are becoming a member of the profession, you are promising that you're going to be conscientious about pursuing the best that you can in your profession, and that you're pledging that you're going to strive to always do these things, that you're going to render service with full respect for the dignity of human beings, that you're going to respect confidential information that's obtained through your employment, unless legally authorized or it's part of your job and understood to be so, such as maybe your PCP, some PCP ordered a test and you're going to send the results of that test to that PCP. It's okay to do that. It's part of your job. Sometimes we release information for purposes of billing to insurance companies so that they will cover services. This is also standard practice, but again, you're only going to release as much as you need to. Usually, you're looking at coding, and it's different. You're not, divulging things word for word, but of course, the codes mean things that would be translated into words on the end of the insurance company. Also, if somebody divulges something to you, such as abuse of a child or abuse of an elder, you're going to have to report that. That's mandated reporting, does not fall under the umbrella of confidentiality. You promise to uphold the honor and high principles of your profession and accept your profession's disciplines. And you seek to continually improve the knowledge and skills of medical assistants for the benefit of your patients and professional colleagues. So as a body, you're responsible to one another and to your patients to be the best you can be in that profession. And you can only do that by the next one, which is to seek to continually improve your knowledge and skills. And also participate in additional service activities toward improving the health and well-being of the community. Now, if you go to your website that I mentioned, the AAMA website, see, I'm calling it your website because really it is your website. You can really see what's going on nationally, what's going on locally, what you can get involved in. Is there something that you can do grassroots in your own agency to be a part of this bigger association? That's your code of ethics. Let's talk about key principles. You shall be accurate, truthful, and complete in any and all communications, direct or indirect, with any patient, employer, regulatory agency, or other party as it relates to your professional work, education, credentials, research, and contributions to the field of medical assisting. So in a nutshell, you are not going to represent your skills, your education. You're going to be truthful about all of those things. Principle 5, you shall not engage in behavior, lawful or otherwise, that cause you to be reasonably perceived to be a threat or potential threat to the privacy, well-being, or a threat to the health and safety of recipients of certified medical assisting services. So the patients that you serve have a expectation that they're not going to be harmed by you, whether on purpose or not. So some of the things that are often overlooked would be things like people who are careless with personally identifying information, or, oh my goodness, let's get back to that page, I'm sorry. They may leave records around, for instance, or lose a record, or otherwise leak confidential information because of carelessness. Those are things that would fall under Principle 5 because we could be a threat to the privacy or the well-being, safety of the patient. And certainly if you're trying to perform a skill that you're not trained to do, that would also fall in this category of there being a potential threat to the health and safety of the patient. And then the last one doesn't really need any explanation. You shall not engage in the practice of medical assisting while you are impaired due to the use of chemical substances, drugs, or alcohol. That goes for legal as well. If you have a prescription, if you would be impaired while under the influence of that prescription, then you cannot engage in practice. Okay, those things are not too complicated, but we certainly will be talking about those more when we get together as a group. The last thing we're going to discuss for just a minute is the concept of core values. As you can see, there are many people there. Safe to say that they hold personal beliefs, and they may be different personal beliefs. They perhaps celebrate different types of holidays or traditions and customs, and the way they run their lives very differently. Their concept of family might be different. There's all kinds of things that make us all individuals. But when it comes to a medical profession, then we have a shared group of values, which we call core values. And yours happen to be that you promise you will actively participate in the delivery of quality health care, promote patient safety and well-being, contribute to a positive healthcare experience for patients. Little things go a long way. I sit by a discharge desk, and the things that patients talk about that make them feel that they have a positive healthcare experience, believe it or not, can be the very little things, just a kind word or a person that's being gentle with them, that kind of thing. Demonstrating integrity and respect and protecting patient confidentiality, and advocating for a continuing education and showing that you value your certification and that of your professions by doing the last bullet, which is embracing change, growth, and learning. Every opportunity is one that should be looked upon as valuable when it comes to education about being a medical assistant. So that is really it under ethics. As I promised, it would be somewhat short. Please remember to take your quiz. Thank you for participating again, and we will see you soon. And thank you so much.